So these two nooks, I already kind of knew the timeline on them, but they got all their broods capped. They've actually already had some start emerging, and then she's relayed in some of them holes. So this is going to be emerging. And them other holes, them little holes, have new brood in them. You can't really see down in there. Let's see if I can get an angle on it. Yeah, I think you can see a little bit. I don't know. But you can see these up here. They've got brood in them. And all this side has eggs and brood on it. So all this is emerging. So as it emerges, their population is going to blow up. So I've actually got 2 8-frame hives ready over there. So I'm going to transfer them to 8-frame hives today. And then I'm actually going to take this one and break it down and make nooks, because I do not like that queen. And I'm going to requeen those nooks with buckfast queens. So that's kind of the goal today. It ain't looking very good though. It says it's gonna rain. Hopefully I can get this done and not get rained on. So I got these moved over. You can see they was pretty packed out in that little 4-frame nook. So I put 3 frames, and then I put a blank frame, and then I put their honey frame on the side. And then they got a blank to start drawing out immediately, and then they'll work their way over and draw them other 3. And I do both of them the same way. This is the way I do all my nooks when I move them. If I put them in a 10-frame box, then I always add a feeder. And I may still come back and add a feeder, pull 2 frames and add a feeder to these. It's supposed to rain pretty heavy the next couple of days, so hopefully the nectar flow will pick up, because the nectar flow kind of dropped off, and it hasn't rained much. We've been in a drought, so I'm not super surprised there, but it's supposed to rain the next couple of days, and hopefully the nectar flow will pick up, and I won't need to add a feeder, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm about to break this hive down. I've got 2 nook boxes for six nook boxes sitting here. 2 double deeps. I'm going to break down into the nooks. Should work out where each box gets a new frame. 1 or 2 of the boxes is going to be full frames, but then I got this honey super here that they were working on. I'm actually just going to put it on top of this hive, because they're almost done with their super. So I'm going to take that super and just put it on here real quick. This is the only hive I've got right now that's pretty much done with their super. The other supers that were finished I took off. They've got one that they're finished with, but I've already got a new box on them. So I was gonna add a super to an 8-frame hive, but none of these other 8-frame hives are anywhere close to being ready for another super. So I looked through all of them real quick, and this is the only one that's real close to being done with theirs. So I'm just gonna move that over here. And then what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up putting all of those nooks right here, so they'll catch all the foragers from this hive. And then over the course of the next week, I'll actually move them nooks around so that I can balance the population out, because what'll generally happen is the 2 nooks that are in the center will get the vast majority of the workers, and they'll just be overpacked. So what I have to do is I have to leave them there for like, say like 2 hours. And then I have to come back and I'll take the ones on the outside and I'll put them in the middle. And then I'll come back like tomorrow and I'll take the ones that are on the outside and put them in the middle. And it's just a way I've found of kind of balancing out the foragers into the nooks. Because by that time they're going to realize they're queenless, and then wherever they end up that day, they're going to probably stay. So, but I'm going to get on this and try to get this done before it starts raining. That's the goal. That is the goal. So, should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think they've only got a little bit left on like 3 or 4 frames. Other than that, they're pretty much done with theirs. And that allows me just to close them back up. Then this one I kind of have to break it down and go through it frame by frame. So I'm going to be looking for eggs and larvae. And this is a new queen. So she's probably going to wind up in one of the nooks. And I'll give her a chance to restart. But right now, like, this hive has been pretty pissy. And the old queen was pissy. So I have a feeling it's just the genetics of that line. You know, there's no telling. There could be some Africanized blood in there. It could just be that they're just not nice. I don't really know. And at this point, I don't care. I had that queen last year. I got her last year. She was a new queen. And since day one, they just been pissy. So I've just had my fill of pissy bees. I'm not interested in keeping pissy bees. I'd rather requeen them with a buckfast queen that I know is going to be calm and gentle, and move on with my life. You know, the thing is, my buckfast queens make just as much honey as these Italians do. So there's no reason why I want to deal with it. The only thing I hate about wearing latex gloves is your hands get kind of sweaty. And so if you tear a glove and you got to put a new glove on, it's really a pain unless you let your hand dry off for a couple minutes. If you don't and it's still wet, you got to kind of work it on there, trying not to tear it again. So we'll see. These frames are already pushed over, so I don't want to super smoke them because I don't want to drive them out of the box. I want to move them to the nook. Just pure honey, which is fine. This is a brand new frame they drew. Not really anything on it. Oh, that's pretty good. I do want to find the queen because I would like to know which one she's in, because as soon as my queen cells emerge, I'm actually gonna pinch her and put my buckfast queen in there with her. I've been thinking about ordering some of them queen pheromone strips, but I think just for the mating nooks, because like in this instance, if I was to use a queen pheromone strip, they wouldn't draw an emergency queen out, you know? So And I'm hoping when I get to the second box, because I'm getting eggs and larvae for these right now. Like I've got at least one frame of eggs and larvae. I got a frame of honey in that one, a blank foundation in that one, eggs and larvae in that one. And I want new eggs and larvae so they can make queen cells, but I also need, in the bottom, I'm hoping there's some cat brood down there. So there's some cat brood. Not a lot. I have found a prime cup on almost every frame, which is another thing I don't like about this Queen's genetics is they are constantly making prime cups, which means that they are constantly trying to swarm, which I don't necessarily like. I don't want swarmy bees. None of my buckfast queens are like that. They don't, very rarely do I ever see any kind of cups in the buckfast hives. They did in the spring, you know, a little bit with, and see, this is why I don't like these plastic foundations, these rubber foundations, I should say. They, you know, they drew this out 3/4 of the way, but that bottom part they stripped the wax off of, and they're not going to finish it, you know. That's nice to have a little cat brood. And with some honey frame, that's not a bad deal. Give them this honey frame. I like to find cat brood for that one, cat brood for that one. And then this honey frame can go in that one that already has the cat brood. So I'm actually going to take this opportunity to try to put some more bees in my cell builder over there. Because I don't want to beat on this box because they're going to get rowdy if I do. So I think I'm actually going to go get the brush and brush them out. So to interject there, what I'm actually, while I'm in the process of making these nooks, I'm gonna take some bees here and there, and I'm gonna put them in this cell builder. And what I've decided to try this time is I'm gonna put paper between the two boxes so that the bees can't just immediately leave, and they'll get that sense of queenlessness. But when they chew through the paper, there's 2 queen cells down there, so hopefully that'll make them stay. Let's say they did not like that very much. But it is what it is. We're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna get a little mad, but they'll be all right. So even just doing that little bit, they stung me a couple times. I don't know if you can see that, but they, even just me moving right here, they immediately jump up and start like bzzz in my face, you know. But we're gonna move on with it. It's just what it is. I already know they're pissy. They're gonna be pissy. There's not a lot I can really do about that other than requeen them. So that's what we're in the process of. That's why I'm breaking this hive down. I'm just going to try to capture as many bees as I can from my little cell builder over there. And so what I'm looking for right now is I need cap brood. I need two more frames of cap brood, I think. That one's done. Yeah, I need cap brood for that one. And then whatever else goes into these other ones. So I got 6 boxes over here. If I make 6, I make 6. If I don't, I don't. I know my weakest split is gonna be this one. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. If I can fit another one right there. The problem here is one of these splits is gonna have a queen in it. That's the only issue. But more than likely what's going to happen is the split that has the queen in it is going to be, oh, the thing fell over. So, alright, so I've got them all lined up like this. I'm going to go make some sugar water jars up to give these guys. So what I was saying here is the big issue is one of these splits is going to have a queen in it. And what's going to happen is the majority of the bees are going to go to that split. Okay? So once I figure out, I was looking for the queen, but I wasn't really looking for the queen because it's not overly important, honestly. She's not going to be around forever. But what'll happen is most of the bees, a lot of the bees are going to go to the split that has the queen in it. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out which one has the queen in it, and I'm going to have to move it over somewhere else. Which I should be, I mean, by the end of the day today, I'll know I'll know which one has a queen in it. But I mean, that's pretty much it for that. I got to put these boxes up. I got to put that box up. I got to put these extra frames up that I brought down. And that's it. I just got to kind of clean up my mess. And then try to figure out which box the queen's in so I can move it. But I'll know here shortly. It'll be very evident. So this is what I was talking about. You can see that split has a kind of normal, pretty much normal. And then this split, there's bees all over the walkboard under there. There's bees all next to it. The whole entrance is just covered. I'm gonna bet the queen's in that one. That's where I'd put my money. So I'm actually gonna move this box over there and then put these 4 right here so they can absorb the workers. Well, that puts us at 20, which I'm happy. I would like to be a little bit higher, and I may make some more splits. I've got 2 more boxes. I can make 2 more hives. So at some point, I'm probably gonna make 2 more hives. I'm at 20 right now. Like I said, I have 2 more boxes. I can make 2 more hives before the end of the year. And then the rest of the year, my focus is going to be on requeening any of the hives that aren't buckfast. So right now, this one, and this one are buckfast. This one, I put a queen cell in from that Italian hive. This is an Italian hive. All of these 5 are Italians. This one and this one's a buckfast. This one's a buckfast. These 2, I'm pretty sure are buckfast because when they were Italians, but the queens never returned from mating. So I ended up pulling frames out of the buckfast colonies and putting in here for them to try a second time. And then the second time they made queens and they mated and returned. So I'm pretty sure at this point, that's a buckfast. That was my first buckfast queen. And she does phenomenal. She's got a great population. They've already drawn 1 honey super. They're working on their 3rd. So as of right now, I just have these 7 right here that are going to be Italians. And as soon as I get those 2 queen cells out of my cell builder, I'm going to put 1 here and then 1 in one of these. And then I'm going to do another round of grafting. So hopefully I can get all of my hives switched over to buckfast in the next couple weeks. It's a little warm today. The bees are active. They're out in force. So, but I'm happy. I got that hive split up. I made 5 splits out of a double deep, which was perfect. The only thing that sucked is there was that one wonky comb frame, which, like I've said since I've started beekeeping, I don't know why, but these bees do not like those rubberized foundations. They just don't. They love the Puracell, so you know I'm just going to use Puracell or wax sheets. So, but it's just a quick overview all the way to 20. I started with 1 5-frame nook last year, and we're at 20 hives now. I'll probably be, I've still got I've got 20 more nook boxes on the porch, so I could, in theory, I could make 20 more nooks by the end of the year and be close to 50 by the end of the year. We'll see how it goes. I got to order more boxes and frames and stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to make it to 50 by the end of the year or not, but the goal was to go into winter with 50. And then next year, really make some honey next year. So we'll see how it goes. Everything this year has went phenomenal. There's been a couple mishaps here and there, you know, queens not coming back from mating. You know, that one Italian, those two, that solid brown hive, and then the one that was next to it that was blue and pink. Both of those were kind of pissy Italians. They both superseded their queen, which the queen was only a year old. She was new last year. But they both superseded their queen right in the middle of honey flow. So that kind of messed things up. But you can't really control those things, you know. But that's about it, I guess. At 20, trying for 50. We'll see how it goes.